everybody. My name is Justin Veale. Mark just said. So I'm 15 years old and I'm in grade 10. Very young to be doing this. Got a long future ahead of me. I live in Milton with my mom, my dad, my brother, and my dog Veale. I was adopted at 3 years of age with my biological brother Dallas, and we have both been diagnosed with FASD. I was around 5 years old at the time of the diagnosis. Did I get that right? 5? Okay. Just had to be sure. Confirm. And I've also been advocating for myself and many other people with FASD for years. Interesting fact, I actually did my first speech on FASD in grade 4 and made it all the way to the finals. And since then, I've had many other speaking opportunities, much like this one. And I have to say, I'm super excited to share what I've learned about FASD with everybody. The first thing I want to share with everybody is that having a diagnosis of FASD is very important. I've always known how great looking I am. I'm as great looking as all of you, but maybe even better. But I have always known how different I am, and without having a diagnosis, I can never have understood why I have so many challenges. I would probably think that I'm not as smart as everyone else, and that everything that happens is my fault. But because I have a diagnosis, I don't beat myself up if I mess up or if I don't live up to other people's expectations. On top of that, knowing I have FASD allows me to create more realistic goals for myself, and it also allows me to teach others about my needs. It can even help a future school or job or anything like that understand how to approach and support me, and it also helps others understand why I act the way that I do. The second thing I've learned is that people with FASD must be open to giving and receiving proper supports. I find that I'm more successful if I use the supports that have been put in place for me. One example of this at school would be when I use my IEP or my individual education plan as much as possible. My parents have been working with my schools and teachers for as long as I can remember, and probably even longer than that, because I can't remember that far back. They have helped me gain access to things like certs and EAs. These people have really helped me become successful in organization, which is an area where I'm not so hot at. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably one of the messiest teenagers you're probably ever gonna meet in your life. Yeah, so I have a lot of difficulty remembering to bring stuff to class for classwork and home for homework, even though it literally says it in the name. And even with my speech too, I had to ask for help organizing my thoughts because they were all over the place in my original notes, and I had to ask for help to get them in the point form notes that I have in it. So not only do kids like me need supports, but we also need to be a part of developing them, because oftentimes we will have great advice for what we need. It's very good because we will also have to let other people know what we will need at the times that we need them. For example, in English or science or any class for that matter, and on Wednesday I'm writing my OSSLT, and for that I asked for a scribe. The next thing I want to share with you is that you should always try your best to understand how an FASD brain works. It's a lot more complicated than professionals will tell you it is. There's so much more to learn. I know experts are working hard to try and figure out the FASD brain, or else I wouldn't need to be here giving panels and doing speeches all the time. It's also important to understand how the brain damage can cause some people to have a learning disability and or a temper that can affect their daily life. whether you have FASD, or you're working with somebody with FASD, or you're a parent of somebody that has FASD, learning all you can with the brain will make your life so much easier. It will help you have more patience and understanding. An example for this would be when I'm at school. My teacher often has to give me 5 to 10 extra seconds in class to think and process the question because, as many of you probably know, people with FASD don't have as fast processing speeds as everyone else. It also helps so I can give an answer that I'm proud of and I don't feel bad about giving. Honestly, this whole point about education about the FASD brain goes back to my point before about giving and receiving proper supports. Recognize how hard we work, because even the simplest things for us can be difficult. Every time we do well, express how proud you are of us. We want your approval, and it will help our morale and work ethic. It will make us want to work harder to get even more approval. Now, I'm great at a lot of things like sports, mainly hockey. But I also know that I do have some struggles, mostly revolved around school. For example, I find math very difficult. It's like the most difficult subject in the world. That's how I feel. So even though I find it difficult, I don't feel bad for getting a 60 on my report card. Or in this case, maybe a 49. But my parents always tell me not to focus so much on the grades, as I should focus on just doing my best and putting my best work forward. Once I feel I can do something well, I will work to raise the bar higher. But if I feel I'm struggling, I will just stay at the same level or maybe go one level lower. The last point is it is important to be strict but fair. An example of this in my house is that we have strict rules about the internet. I always have to ask before I can use it, and once I get the okay from my parents, I have to use it in a space so they can see and monitor what I'm doing. I don't think a lot of people here are going to agree with me on this point, but when it comes to social media, my parents and I are on the same ground on this. That social media is a complete waste of time, and it's a lot more trouble than it's worth. Turns out I was wrong about nobody agreeing with me. My parents do let me spend time with my friends because it's important for people with FAC to have friends. But I do have strict curfews I have to follow, and I have to check in frequently. Now, just like any other teenager would tell you that's in my position, it's boring, it's annoying, and there's no point in doing it. But you'd be wrong. The reason that your parents do it is because they want to keep you safe. Although school is important, so are extracurricular activities. These activities give us a break from the things that we may find difficult, like school. It allows us to make friends in an environment that we are comfortable and share common interests with. For me, this is hockey. Everyone knows who I am when I step out on the ice. I've been playing for many years and made many friends, and maybe a couple enemies at the rink. So just to give everyone a quick recap in case you missed any of it, or you zoned out, which is okay. A diagnosis is very important. You should always have the proper supports in place, never stop learning, set realistic expectations, and always be strict but fair. I hope that you've all found this information helpful. Thank you for your time.